Good morning and welcome along to a bonus live stream from Carlisle United in FM20. The rescue job continues today and we're back for an extra one. We start the morning with a pretty good game as well. It's not the fact we're playing Barrow, but the fact that they're managed by Antonio Candreva, the former Italy international. So we're testing our wits against big names again. But thank you very much for coming along this morning. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for being patient. And I hope we can have a fun hour talking football manager and FM21 as well. So thank you all for coming along. There is a problem this morning with YouTube showing the view count, so I won't have any idea who's here. There's people saying hello already and it says 0 viewers, so I'm not going to know throughout the morning. So hopefully we'll be able to get through that. But El Gaming, good morning, lovely to have you along. Wrexham in the league, let's have a look. They shouldn't be, because I don't think they've dropped down this far. Let me have a look at what league they're in. I'm pretty sure they were in the Football League actually. They are, they're top of League 2. So in this universe, Wrexham, top of League 2. They've had a few random seasons yo-yoing up and down the league in League 2. But they are still there. They are top at the moment. It's only October, I guess, so I wouldn't get too excited. But they're 9 points clear of 4th. So potentially promotion back to League 1 for Wrexham. So they're doing well at the moment. But thank you all for coming along. It's great to have you here this morning. I think the view count's fixed because it's suddenly shot up. So it's great to have you all here. If you haven't yet, please chuck a thumbs up on it. We will be talking plenty of football today. We'll have a little bit of Football Manager and FM21 teasers as well. I also want to say a quick thank you to everyone that's popped over to the Discord as well. Really appreciate that. It's been much busier than I could have expected. So it's great to have you along there. Charlie, good to have you in. Championship game week 6 didn't happen, did it? I mean, you'd like to think so. And probably the way Craig has gone, I'd like to think so as well. But game week 7 is a chance to recover, and that will be out on the podcast this evening. So hopefully we'll be back then. Yes, El Gaming, you're top of the league. And hopefully, by the end of the season, you're top of the National League in real life as well. Because that's what I've predicted. And if that doesn't happen, I'll be in a spot of bother. So hopefully we'll be able to make that happen. But as we said, like yesterday, it doesn't look great early on. Just need to get those people scoring. Discord is going well. Oh dear. It's great actually. It's brilliant to have so many people along. People that wouldn't normally comment on videos and be able to come to live streams in the morning that can come over and chat. So it's great to have a lot of people about. And as much as we talk about this Antonio Candreva matchup today, he is rated quite good for a manager at this level. And he's been here. Oh, he only just joined. He was at Huddersfield a few years ago. Then went to Middlesbrough's youth setup and now he's at Barrow. But he's a good manager. It's a top of the table clash, first v fourth. And we're just pulling away from Nuneaton now. So if we win this, I mean, it's basically becoming a 2-horse race. There's actually some really big games in this one. So we've got Ebbsfleet away in the first round of the FA Cup. They're in the Football League here as well. Don't forget at the end of the last stream, if you weren't here, Declan Shields got a big injury. He is our star striker, the one that's sort of League 1, League 2 standard. And we brought in a youngster called Aidan Wilkin on loan desperately from MK Dons. And he scored the winner against National League Blyth in the FA Cup. So there are positives there. But fingers crossed we'll be able to get a good result against Barrow. So we'll go and head into the first game. Craig's getting cocky about the championship prediction. So fair play to him. We'll get you back this weekend, my friends. Good to have you in for the whole stream, El Gaming. I know it's half term for a lot of school, college, uni, etc. Charlie, can you explain what on earth sort of form QPR are in? They've been in the same form for about 3 or 4 years, which is completely unpredictable. And I actually did you a disservice because you said that they were unpredictable. I said, well, they've drawn 3 in a row now. And back to the dramatic worst at the midweek. So I'm definitely going for them to win this weekend because they'll definitely bounce back. Don't care who they're playing. But it's Carlisle v Barrow to start off the morning. We're heavy odds on favourites. I'm not sure why. Barrow are a very good side. So it will be tighter than people think. We've got our first 16 available. Turner not quite fit, but he'll do for today. And the rest of the squad is ready to go. So Aidan Wilkin, after that FA Cup goal, 2 blanks in the National League North. We need a recovery today. So into we go. Top v 4th. It's a massive game and we're against Italian internationals. What a way to test ourselves. So thank you for everyone coming in. Please chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't. Please do go and join the Discord, the Twitter. There's links on the community page here. We've already announced one of our FM21 stories, which I'll talk a little bit more about today. And then later on, I'll drop a couple of teasers for the second one, which will be announced this evening. Of course, Cliftonville's continuing every day at 4:30 at the moment. That is going brilliantly. I can't thank you enough for your support with that. I never thought a sort of Build a Nation series like that, with such a niche nation and club, would really take off. So the fact that it has is incredible. And of course, the Northern Irish League, I absolutely love. It might be a little league, it might be mostly semi-pro, but I'm a big fan. As Cole's run the length here, and he's put it straight at the keeper. Big double header tomorrow night as well. For those who have sort of got into Cliftonville and want to keep up with them, their game's being streamed on BBC Northern Ireland tomorrow night at 7:45 against Crusaders. Before that at 5:30 it's Ballymena Linfield, so it'll be brilliant. L Gaming, thoughts on the Pickford challenge? It was awful. I don't think anyone can argue with that. Oh, I thought that was our man there. It looked like Chorley was giving the red to, but a red card to Barrow, so hopefully we can get on top now. Walton's corner, headed over by Cool. Hopefully it's coming. The Pickford challenge was awful. Some of the things have been overreaction in the media because there's been worse tackles in the Merseyside derby the last 10 or 15 years. I think we mentioned it on Tuesday as Hutchinson, he's offside. On Tuesday we mentioned it. The Gerrard one on Gary Naismith, the stamp a few years ago was the worst one for me. Dirk Couch challenge was no real different, apart from the fact that he didn't connect. And then even Richarlison in that game, it wasn't much worse. Much better, sorry. So the Pickford one, there has been an overreaction in the media because Pickford's under fire. But it was an awful tackle and he still should have got the ban and the red card and the 3-game ban for me. That's my opinion on it. Craig, at a non-league game last night, home team exceptional on COVID rules, Baldock Town at Arsley. That's brilliant to know. And as I said, it's the thing that we mentioned that frustrated me so much with some of those FA Cup penalty shootouts on the TV. Is that I've been to a couple this year. I've been to Hitchin Town. I've been to watch your lot of Crawley, Craig. And the social distancing has been done really well. And everyone's taking precautions. As Aidan Wilkin does get his goal in the league. So good to see that's a good loan signing. But the problem is, when teams are doing that so well, it's really frustrating then that the one shining light on TV, it's a bit annoying they've gone to penalties actually, because if they'd finished normally we wouldn't have had these problems. I just hope it doesn't give an excuse to the lawmakers. That's all I can say, but great to hear it was done well. How is Barrow Stadium that big? This is our stadium. This is a Carlisle at home, and Brunton Park's massive. I think it still is the biggest terrace stand in England, Brunton Park. It's a brilliant stadium. Absolutely loved our trip to Carlisle. I think it's the highest viewed episode in our Review the 92 series. And there's so many Carlisle fans, and it's a brilliant place to go. If you haven't been to watch football there and you get a chance to in the future, just do, because it's a really great place to go. Particularly in the sort of spring when it's a bit warmer. Charlie, Irish League games are on BBC, but allow 5 minutes to try and find it. Yeah, I think we found a way around it now. Don't even bother looking on the iPlayer. If you go to the BBC Sport app, you'll be able to find it easy once you get within 5 minutes of kickoff in terms of the live sporting action. But yeah, it's brilliant coverage. It's great to have so much Irish League football on TV, and it's on free TV. So for people who can't afford all the big Sky and BT packages, I would love to have had that as a kid. So 50 extra games this season, and from a league that we now know well. It's brilliant to have. And I'll start plugging the Welsh League soon as well on S4C, because I always used to like that. As Walton gets the ball in again, we can't find this second goal. And even though we're against 10 and dominant, I always worry when it's just 1-0. Wrexham will be good for FM this year. Oh yeah, absolutely. The only thing I'd worry about is that you wouldn't, in that first window, you wouldn't be able to make any signings really, because they'll have maxed out the wage bill because they've done so much summer work. But they've got a really good side. Reece Hall-Johnson, yeah, we highlighted that he was going to be a great signing. Him, Darrell's just starting to come into the team now. I think if Dean Keats can get Adi Yusuf firing, I mentioned this yesterday, he will be absolutely brilliant. At Solihull, he was a monster. You've got, obviously, Quantoms. That's going to be 9 men. Sorry, I've been taken in my stride there. That's an awful tackle. Get him off, referee. Good lad. Didn't bottle it because they're down to 10 already. Now it's 9 men, Barrow. Can we get a second? But yeah, I mean, Thomas, he was such a well-rated youngster. He was a Youth England international. And he's just sort of, the last few years, his career's just sort of dried up. So I'm hoping you'll be able to get him going again, just from a hope point of view. As Aidan Wilkin makes it 2, and we can think about subs in a moment. Looks like we're going to win comfortably. Wait, a Wrexham top? No, Craig, in this game they're top. They're top of League 2 in this one. They're flying. In the National League, they are not top. I'm not sure who are, actually. Let me make these subs and then I'll go and have a look, because this game's already won. So Robertson on the right wing. We're trying to save fitness for the weekend. So Turner replaced by Wilson and Cool replaced by Waggots. And that's what we're going to do. So those 3 changes made, 15 to go, and 2-0 against 9 men should be comfortable. I've got to thank you, I can't keep up with the chat this morning, it's that good. Let me just have a look at the National League table. Because I know that Notts County lost a game, but then they were doing well aside from that. Stockport are top. Charlie's nailed it. And last year I went for Torquay, and now they're second. Hartlepool and Woking up there. Didn't Charlie go for Woking to go down? And they're 4th. And Solihull and Sutton up there with a game in hand. That's not bad at all, actually. In fact, there's not many teams doing that well. It's good to see Dover that are 22nd. That's exactly where I predicted them to be. So that's a positive at least. Charlie, favourite Welsh team? If we're talking Welsh League team, not just a Welsh team, because obviously there's lots of them in the English leagues. I'd be tempted to say TNS because of the interview we did with Keston Davis, who was brilliant. But for me, it was always Bangor and Port Talbot, because in FM they were the next ones that you could manage. Bangor are the biggest supported club in Wales, and they're a really good team. They're a really good squad. They've had a very interesting few years, but we'll talk a bit more about that later. So probably Bangor City, but Port Talbot were close, but they fell into trouble as well. There was a stage where Port Talbot got about 5 youngsters from Swansea who were brilliant at the same time. And Neath, when they were going before, and they got Lee Trundle in, that was brilliant too. Yeah, it's a decent start, but losing to the bottom of the table twice isn't good enough. Yeah, but it's always going to take a while. I always use this example when people moan in the first few weeks of the season. The year that we went up, we got 100 points and 100 goals with Luton in the National League under John Still. And after 10 games, we were in 14th place. So there's no point worrying about it at the start. And I think we only had about 11, 12 points. Certainly not more than 13 or 14. So that's it really. It's a main thing for us. We're not going to worry about it because it's a pretty good position to be in. So I'm not worried that Wrexham are on 6 points or Notts County are on 9 or whatever else. See, the Barnet one's interesting. They've had a couple of really good performances. But apart from that, it's been a slightly unique situation. They've been okay for the most part, Barnet. And then they got absolutely tanked a couple of times. I think Craig had them to be in the playoffs. I've got them to be right down there, like just above the relegation zone. So it's a bit of a strange situation, the Barnet one. Charlie, yes, you did predict Woking to go down. Aldershot have started pretty well as well, so I wouldn't worry too much. Stockport have stolen loads of players from Hartlepool. Is that true? I know they've got the 2 Jennings from different clubs. The brothers playing together. But Jim Gannon, he's a brilliant manager, honestly. Did a really good job with them. He's a good manager and he deserves more credit than he gets, I think. We're just skipping ahead as the YouTube chat's failing me again, so I'm having to look at the phone to get the answers. I can already see a mention of my lunches, which is going to be an interesting one. El Gaming, I've been to the Barla Stadium, loads of tournaments, a lovely ground. Yeah, I quite like the Barla team on FM. They had Chris Venables for a while, who was a good player. But yeah, I'd really quite like the Welsh League, and again, it's free to watch. It used to be one of my only options, and you can get English commentary on S4C for that league, so it was never a problem for me. But a good start in terms of Carlisle today, a good win against Barrow. Barnet for the playoffs was mad, they lost half their squad. They did, and they've had some really heavy defeats. It worries me about the collapsing after 1 or 2 goals. Charlie, can you tell everyone about your lunches on Tuesday and Wednesday? If I must. So Tuesday was the return of Saucy Samosa, who is the favourite catering van in the town centre. 6 months he's had off, 7 months obviously since the pandemic. So it was lovely to get that back in again. Cheap as chips chicken curry, which is absolutely top quality. And the best samosas I've ever had at 80p a pop. You can't go wrong. So that was Tuesday. And then yesterday was Medi Kitchen, which is a Lebanese grill delivered. And it's just a platter. You've got a tabbouleh, which is a couscous salad, which is beautiful. And I know that sounds very posh coming out of me, but trust me, it's not. Lovely grilled flatbreads, big platter of rice, minced lamb spring rolls, and a potato dish with grilled vegetables or fried vegetables, which is beautiful. I'd highly recommend it. And Charlie, I know you'll be within their delivery area, so give it a go. Thank you to everyone coming along. I promise we do talk football the most part. I don't always bang on about food, although it is one of my favourite other topics. So if you are looking forward to more of that chat, please chuck a thumbs up on it. Thank you all for coming along. I do appreciate it, as we're just trying to get through to the weekend game here. The Biggleswade one is just about getting the result. And then we've got a week till Ebbsfleet, a big FA Cup tie. But we've seen it go wrong at times like that before, so I don't want to get too excited just yet. I put a message that didn't send. Barnet have lost loads of players and struggling behind the scenes. Yeah. It's definitely a problem area. There was a lot of weird things going on at Barnet. Darren Curry obviously got to the playoffs. He went, no contract agreed, replaced by, what's his name? Beadle, is it? The former Hereford manager. It was just all a bit strange because Barnet were really good under Darren Curry. Did quite well. I'm not quite sure. And they played all right in the playoffs, to be fair. It's a very strange situation, but they've had off-the-field problems for a little while, so it's not a huge shock. What's happened to the food channel? It's all still getting set up, don't you worry. I want to try and tie it in with FM21, so the plan is that, and I know this might go wrong, because depending on food deliveries and what can come, whether we're in lockdown or not, but the plan is that all of the sort of background stuff is done. So channel logo, the about section and all of that is done. It's private at the moment and then we'll go public. But the first 2 weeks of FM21 where I'm doing the streams every day, where I've got the 2 long-term stories going, I'll be putting it in the eye above and all of that sort of stuff. And then as we get towards the end of the 2 weeks, then hopefully we can put the first video out on that. Because I've got 2 weeks off work to record things then as well. It certainly won't be it's only a little bit of fun on the side. There might be one video a week or one silly little thing, you know. Charlie, what advent calendar are you getting this year? That is something I will not think about until the end of November. But I will try and find one that entertains you as much as the last one, which was the advent calendar for the one where they claimed it to be the Barclays Premier League or the Cadbury's Premier League one. And then all of the football shapes inside were a train, and not even Christmas related or football related. I mean, there's a podcast episode we did ages ago on it, but there was a train, there was a coach, there was one that we couldn't even work out what it was. It was the most bizarre advent calendar I've ever had. But there you go. These things happen, don't they? Oh no, you can't be going white chocolate. Dark or milk? Yes, sorry. I jumped ahead there, Charlie, with the Premier League experience. It was a very interesting advent calendar. I'll see if they're doing a one this year, actually. Premier League advent calendar. Excuse the keyboard going. I can't see anything that suggests there will be one. So we might have to try something different. You get a savoury one, can't you? I mean, we had a big fuss about the cheese one last year, didn't we? What a ridiculous thing that is. Match attack. Oh, nothing wrong with white chocolate. Just not for an advent calendar for me. I guess me and Charlie are old school, so we use that excuse to claim that we're not old farts, but we are really. As you can see, I'm going grey very quickly, so I haven't got an excuse anymore. As we come forward against Biggleswade early on, doesn't look like that goal's coming though. We're playing against 11 men now, so it might get a bit more difficult. Hutchison back to Jamal, who goes long over the top. Flicked on towards Wilkin. Oh, he's scoring for fun now. He's scoring more than Declan Shields. I'm just trying to look at this Match Attacks advent calendar. See, I can see it, but what's he got in? Is it just chocolate? I'm trying to work it out. The picture's not very clear. I'm going to go and have a little look at it. We've got another corner. We've started really well here. I'm not even having to worry about Carlisle at the moment. Right, let's have a look. I mean, it better have something good in it because it's £20. So it's got the collection cards in, which makes sense. And that's going to be another complaint for me. And I know this is making me sound like a really old fart now. But why did everything change to trading cards instead of sticker books? Because sticker books are the greatest thing. The only time they really go off now is the World Cup and the Euros. Then they go back to normal. And I will do like pack openings and things like that on the channel next year. Because I do love them still. But like the Premier League one last year, they weren't really selling it that much. But that was always one of my favourite things as a kid, is the Premier League sticker book each year. But for the Euros next summer, as Wilkins scores yet again, we'll do some pack openings and things on the channel because I love the sticker books. Charlie, do you prefer terraced or seated grounds? Probably, I prefer the aesthetics of a terraced ground, like a non-league one. But I prefer seated because I'm a lazy old man. I've got a bad back and I like sitting down. So even in like when we went to Tring, for example, or Hitchin, we would look for the seats. So I have to say seated ground. What I prefer is grounds that are probably mostly terraced and a little bit seating, because most of the people who want to be part of the action, be behind the goal, get singing or whatever, they go and stand on the terrace. And then the seats are free for those who just want to have a day out, basically. Whereas if you're seated, like at a Luton away game, I could never sit down normally because most people are standing up. So that's what I'd say I prefer. I prefer mostly terraced at non-league, so we can do that. I had a Wales Euro sticker book. Oh, brilliant. See, the sticker books are great. Nico Williams is class, yes. So, obviously, I'm a little bit disappointed, really, because he's at Cliftonville in my Cliftonville save on loan. And he's good. He's very good, don't get me wrong. But he's nowhere near what he is in real life. And if I had that Nico Williams, we might be flying even further. I mean, we can't complain at how Cliftonville's going, but it has been good having Nico Williams there. Although in that series, he's made of glass. I'm not sure if that's the same in real life. Never stops getting injured. We've got just over 20 minutes to go here. And it looks like another comfortable day at the office. I say as we're getting a barrage of attacking throws against us. And Halifax, oh, where are they? They're drawing 0-0, having missed a penalty. So maybe this is the day we go clear at the top. But let's not get too excited, because Biggleswade are attacking now. Good to see another side local to me going up the pyramid in this one. As Hill gets to the back post, heads over the bar. I think it's time for changes, don't you? 20 to go. There's a corner to come in, but we'll replace Watson with Burling. We'll bring on the youngster Robertson for Wilkin, because he's got his hat-trick. He can get his ovation. And then Douglas on a booking and struggling physically. So on for him will be Matt Waggett. And that's job done. 20 minutes to go. Let's make sure we see it out. Walton's corner in, claimed by the keeper. Too easy. Yeah, Charlie, absolutely the same. Love the sticker books. I didn't go to the swap shops. We used to do them all on the playground at school. So I didn't have 98, I don't think. Although, what was the one? Maybe it was 98 with the red cover. Let me have a look. Premier League. I definitely remember 99 to 2004. Every year completed. I think I've still got them. Let me have a look at the 98 sticker book, because that might have been my first one. But the first one I didn't complete. No, I don't recognise the 98 one. And I only would have been, 4 that season, so that would have been too young. Yeah, 99 was the first one. I think I almost completed 99, and in 2000 to 2004, all of them done. Absolutely loved it. And then the same for the last, I think the World Cup's 2014-18, and then the Euros 2016. They made a comeback, I don't want to sell it that way, but you can make a profit from them as well. Like buying the sticker packs and then selling on the duplicates as a pile afterwards on eBay. I probably made more money than I spent, or near enough the same. It was incredible. But yeah, it's good to see that people are enjoying sticker books again. As I've been to loads of non-league now games, I might do it now or on Discord to revive them all. Yeah, see, the non-league games are the best ones to go to. There's so much there. I mean, I don't know what will happen in Wales with this circuit breaker, as we might be throwing this game away here. We've conceded 2. Lewis Smith's dropped one in his own net there. And we're going to have to get time wasting on for the last 30 seconds, because we've suddenly got a grandstand finish. And this is a lesson about getting cocky. We're doing a Spurs v West Ham here by getting complacent. So let me just time waste and get back into it. Eastleigh away was amazing the other year. The goalkeeper let me and my brother on the pitch with a Wrexham fan. who warmed up the keeper. Oh, that's brilliant. That's what non-league football's about. It's you actually feel close to the players. You feel part of the community. It's brilliant. I mean, the Luton players in non-league, they used to just come and sit in the away end if they were on the bench and unused near the end. It was great. The community you get from lower league football is the thing that never gets replaced. Halifax did nick a winner in the end. Louis Potter will be back next weekend. And Aidan Wilkin got a hat-trick. He's flying. But yeah, non-league football's great. Believe he's retired now. What's his name? Ryan Clark. I'm trying to think if I've mixed him up with someone else. I think I've completely mixed him up with someone else. Let me have a look. Yeah, I have. I can't remember who it is then. The Wales sticker book. Yeah, see, there's so many good ones. A review, that makes more sense. You're not the only one who can't spell this morning. I'm not looking forward to going back to work tomorrow because I will have to get my brain back in gear. But what better way to celebrate our last day off than a live stream? Thank you for all the thumbs up as well. It's great to have so many of you along. I hope you're enjoying it, and if you are, I'm glad you are. Cliftonville back at 4:30 today, don't forget. And perhaps more importantly, announcements about the One Club story for FM21. But not a One Club story like the last 2 years. That's the only thing I can tell you. But I will quickly, while we're here, talk about the head coach, because that one has been announced already. So the head coach will be back for FM21. There's a very simple reason for that, because there's a few of the real regulars who don't like that series, but there is no doubt and it's the most popular one on the channel. It's one I like doing. I do it every year, off camera, on camera, whatever. But for that save, last year was the only year where I didn't do it from the start. And it hit the channel badly. It's a series that I really enjoy and I was going to do anyway. But starting it later doesn't work. So I'll start it right first thing. Probably going to be harder this year. Because the season started in October, there's not really going to be any jobs about. So I don't know how long it will take us to get one. It could be quite a difficult thing to try and do. But the head coach will be back straight away. For anyone who doesn't know about it, unemployed journeyman. No say in transfers or contracts. We work basically with a director of football who controls the staffing, the contracts, the transfers. And we get what we're given and work with it as a head coach. But instead of doing it at the elite level where there's great players, we do it in non-league where you might end up with 12 players plus a youth team. As has happened in FM20. Halifax the other year away pushing for the playoffs. We had a chance of the title. It was 1-1 and they scored in the last minute. But the thing is, those emotions and those moments, they're what football's all about. Whether it's for better or worse. We all have those moments, but it's the best thing for football. Yeah, I know you'd mentioned Sam Ricketts on the intro, but it is the best image that illustrates head coach. It's like 2 or 3 pronged. It's got the food in, which will link to the plugs. It's got him on the tactics board, and it's got the screen with the tactical instructions. So to have all 3 of those, it was the perfect image. I'll let you off the plenty of chat as you've been away for a few. The One Club story, no, not Wrexham, I'm afraid. I won't rule it out in the future, but to do it, you'd probably have to drop down a few divisions. But as I said before, if they offer me a job in the head coach, if I'm at a little National League North or South club, it's a very attainable option for me. But yeah, I know Sam Ricketts is probably not a popular man in Wrexham. You probably would have gone up that year because he was doing a brilliant job there, whatever you think of him leaving. It was very similar actually to the Nathan Jones Luton one, except from the fact we had Mick Harford to save the day. But obviously that picture in that thumbnail is from the Shrewsbury-Liverpool game where they were doing dressing room access. So it's quite a nice game to have in there. But there is a nice fancy slide intro for the One Club story as well. And it's a story that, I mean, Charlie knows. Hopefully you won't spoil it today. But he knows about it. And it's a brilliant story. I was looking for something maybe similar to Cliftonville or similar to Torquay. And then that option came up. And I just looked at the background of the story. I thought, we're going to need a history lesson. It's going to be great fun. And hopefully people will enjoy it. So we'll wait and see. We've got 7 subs for the FA Cup, sorry. So let's get a couple more on the bench. I don't know what else we can really do here. It says Walton's not quite fit, but I have to play my first 11 in the cup, even if it means we miss out on someone else after. It says he can do 75 minutes. Ebbsfleet United are in the Football League. They're in League 2, but they're 24th. How many points have they got? 11. So they're a Football League team. I mean, it's sort of the worst of the world because you're not going to get any money out of it. They're getting less attendance than us. It's not great, really. But let's go and get into it. The same 11, 2 added substitutes, and the FA Cup shot could solve the finances. We're already down by 2/3. Most of that was the Declan Shield sale. But if we can just get through this round and get a big tie at home against a Portsmouth, a Sunderland, Hull City, I think, with their QPR were in League One, any of those, on TV, it could just make our year. But let's go and tell the lads, pick up where you left off. Hopefully not the last 15 minutes, mind you. And it's Ebbsfleet v Carlisle. Let's try and get on the front foot. As Bastock puts it in, not the best start, though Turner clears it downfield and Wilkin will chase. And he's been a goal-scoring machine so far. So can he do the same again here? He's into the box. He's going alone. Oh, he's put it just wide. Great run from Wilkin. Is it a lower league story? Sort of. Sort of a lower league story. But not what you would expect, the traditional English lower league from National League North or South. I thought about it, and I have got one of them planned for FM22. So basically, I had a sort of agreement in place right at the start of the calendar year with a non-league club in England, locally to me, to do a series with a little bit of footage from the real grounds, to go to a game and do some stuff there. But unfortunately, because of COVID and that, there hasn't been that opportunity. And I didn't want to stop their real fans going when it came back. So that will be delayed to FM22. So the one club story for next year is already sorted. But for this year, we've got probably one of the most unique stories in British football. That's the only clue I'll give you. The answer to your question on Discord last night, that was about the best series of FM20, wasn't it? I think I have to be honest here, because I think it's a pretty easy answer given how it's gone. I said to you, you asked the question just before the Cliftonville series started, and you said, what would be the best one? And I said, at the moment, I'd say this, but wait till Cliftonville starts, I bet it'll be that. And there is no doubting now it is that. It gave me the chance to birth the Tunnock's Caramel Wafer Cup final thumbnail, which is my favourite thing. I've really enjoyed the series. The feedback's been amazing. The Build a Nation side has been great, as we've gone behind in the FA Cup. We're in big trouble here. And we're getting outplayed, actually. Let's go balanced and demand more. But yeah, it has to be Cliftonville. The feedback's been better than for any series I've ever had on the channel. And at this stage of the year, to have that many was brilliant. It's still regularly getting more views than the other series did. And we're 1 month before FM21. It's pretty incredible. So yeah, it has to be Cliftonville. I'm absolutely loving it. And I just hope next season we can go out with a bang in Europe, because I think this one's going to end a bit quicker because of where we are, but we'll see. As Turner picks it up on the right, can we get back on terms? Just everything's not quite right. The final ball's not quite there, but we are playing a League 2 team. We've got to bear that in mind. As Bastock picks it up in the middle, switch of play. Turner gets it. Over the top, can we get a goal? Here he goes, Aidan Wilkins in, normally so reliable, and that's wayward. He hasn't done that the whole time he's been here. And now suddenly he throws one up on this occasion. They're not big game players, are they? Dorking was your favourite. Yeah, see, a lot of people didn't like Dorking this year. And the reason being is because of the type of club they are. Like, Torquay was a big club at that level. And it meant that you'd naturally get views. You had a bit quicker progress in the early stages because of the professional status, which made it easier. And obviously a lot of Torquay fans came over from that. But with Dorking, they haven't got that culture of fan base from 30, 40, 50 years. The club's only 20 odd years old, you know. So it was actually probably lower viewed than the Torquay one, even though I had double the amount of subscribers. But I enjoyed it and I really liked it, and I had a great time making it. And that's the main thing on this channel. There's a question that got asked on Twitter the other day, actually. Is what's the most important thing of doing YouTube or making content? And it's doing what you enjoy, because so many people make the things they think will be popular. They get dwarfed by the bigger YouTubers anyway. And like, there's so many that do like a journeyman or a non-league to legend to copy or try and piggyback off a couple of bigger YouTubers. And then because it's not what they would normally do with FM, they end up hating it after a few years, burning out and not wanting to do it anymore. So for me, it was just do what you enjoy. And for me, these are the saves that I would have done if I wasn't on camera. I normally have one more off camera each year. So I normally do a little one with Luton at the start of each season, which I did on camera this year. I probably won't next. And then I normally do one little save with a sort of League One Championship or bottom Premier League team where I just try and take them to dominance. Normally I pick out one that have got good youngsters. We have lost this FA Cup tie 1-0. It's a bit of a disappointment, but it was a good effort against the League 2 team. We'll see what it does to the finances. But yeah, so like I mentioned last night, Norwich is the one I'm doing this year. They had Aarons, Godfrey and who's the other one? Campbell and Jamal Lewis in the back three and then the attacking midfield left. And I've just tried to add to it. So do what you enjoy. Make the ones you enjoy. The same as the podcast. We do what we enjoy. We follow Luton Town, so we talk about the league they're in, which is the Championship as it happens. We interview footballers because that's a dream come true, no matter how niche they are, or we look for interesting stories rather than big names. And we have the chat in the pub that we would about managerial sackings and things like that, because that's what we do. So, you know, not everyone's going to like it, and it's not going to grow as quickly, but it's better than doing clickbait that you don't really believe in. But that's my wisdom for the day over. Whether it's good or not, I don't know. Thank you to everyone extra that's coming in. It's great to see so many viewers in. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel, then welcome along. Come and get involved in the chat. Come and subscribe, whatever you want to do. And hopefully we've got plenty you'll enjoy. We've just gone out of the FA Cup with Carlisle. The finances have basically not been affected by that game because Ebbsfleet are too small a side in the league. However, we're in a better position than we were. So we've got Chorley up next weekend at home. Where are they in the league? They are 16th. Then after that, we've got the FA Trophy probably. And then Southport away and Guiseley away. Where are they? Southport are 10th, Guiseley are 8th. So depending on how time treats us in those games, we'll try and get through all 4. We'll see how it goes. Have you heard about Robbie Savage and Macclesfield? Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week. Obviously, we did a couple of Macclesfield episodes on the podcast as the situation was unfolding. And obviously, it linked up at the same sort of time as I was doing the Macclesfield series. It was unintentional. I'd recorded that a month or so in advance, the first half of it. But when it came out, they happened to fall into this trouble. It's such an unfortunate situation, but hopefully with the Phoenix Club, with them come back. I saw the youth team won in the Cup last night, so they've already got them involved. And by next season, they'll have loads of players signed on. Danny Whitaker's already agreed to be manager. They'll probably get a few of the players to stay as well. I know Bury have got 1 or 2, so it happened with AFC Wimbledon as well. People like Marcus Gale and that went down to play in non-league for them. So it's good. I mean, it's good for the Northwest to have that football. So we've got Chorley up next. It's going to be quite an interesting one because these are the sort of banana skins you don't want to slip up on. We've played a lot of the bottom sides and the top sides and done really well. But the mid-table ones tend to be where we've slipped up. So we've got to hope that won't be the case today. I will talk a little bit more next week on the channel about some of the votes. I want to do it sort of around the half-term time where I know there's more people available. I just want to do votes on little things for the videos that sort of across different channels on YouTube, there's a mix. And I know most people watch 2 or 3 different YouTubers at the same time. So it's just really things like, do you want to see goal replays in the episode? Do you want to have an end of season review with all of the stats and the things like that? Because that's something I like, but I appreciate not many do. And even though I wanted to do it with Dorking every year, you ran out of sort of interesting off the pitch topics eventually, because once you get to the top, there's not financial issues, there's not anything else. So it's just little things like that I'll do votes on. So keep your eyes peeled for them next week and come and have your say. And hopefully we'll be able to get, you know, as many responses as possible. The thing with replays, obviously it adds length to the episodes, but if you get to see goals twice, you've got more action as such, haven't you? So I think we're going to keep the same team again, because there's no reason to change it. We played quite well there. So we'll just take the 2 extra subs back out. And for the 4th game in a row, I think, we're going for the same 11. Don't try and fix what isn't broken. The old saying goes, and we're going to stick with it here. So we're going to ask them to prove a point. They're coming into this with a defeat for the first time in a long time. So hopefully that won't have a negative impact. As early on, unfortunately, it's Chorley in possession. Can we nick it and spring a counter? And considering we're doing this without our star striker, I'm pretty impressed. Although Gibson's got in behind from Turner there. It's a good effort, and Smith makes a very good save this time. He's had a couple of very dodgy moments this season, the keeper, but he's recovered there. You have to accept my change in voice today. I'm on the fizzy drink, which hasn't helped. Walton clears it long downfield. The first danger is over, and it remains goalless. But now Turner's got our first attack. Throw down the right to Wilkin. Lost out to Douglas. Into Watson. It's 1-0. We're starting to look unstoppable, which is great. The problem I have is that Halifax are matching us every single step of the way. 23 games gone, and we're both averaging nearly 2.5 points a game. It's pretty incredible, really. I mean, Nuneaton are still only a few points behind, as Potter's got a free kick. Oh, just wide. Cold an awful lot, that one. But a good start nonetheless. As long as we win these games, it doesn't matter if they're vintage at the moment. Of course, we've only got 2 more live streams to come from this, next Tuesday and the one after. So I will try and get through quite a few games off camera, so we make sure we see the end of the season. But it's going to be a 2-horse race all the way as it stands. Although Halifax are behind. Altrincham take the lead. That's a good sign. Bottom of the National League, I think, in real life, Altrincham. As Steer picks it up in the middle, and Chorley are trying to threaten us as well. Down the right-hand side, you've gone for a 3-0 win, El Gaming. It looks like we might be on for a second here, as Potter's in behind. He's 1-on-1. Should he score? It's tipped wide. I think he's gone a couple without now, Potter. Yeah, it's his 4th game in a row without a goal. If he doesn't score in this one, I'll be a bit worried. It's headed away at the front post. Hutchinson will recycle it. Don't know what a centre-half's on the edge of the box. That's not part of my instruction. But it has gone back out for another corner. Walton takes it. Outswinger. It's poor again. There's no one really attacking the 6-yard box. And I can assure you that doesn't match what we've set up. But Halifax behind, we're ahead. And as it stands, 2 squeaky 1-0s could be a crucial moment in the season. So we'll get the lads to prove a point. We don't want any slipping off. And hopefully the second half will be as successful. So let's see how it goes. 5 minutes gone. Chorley, not really had a threat, but I say the same every time. While it's only 1-0 at this level, we've seen Lewis Smith drop a couple in his net. We've seen mistakes. They're so easy to come by at this stage. Just 20 minutes to go. I'm going to take Walton off. He's struggling physically and he's not been great. So Robertson on for him. Burling on for Wilkin, and I'm going to put Watson as the poacher, and I'm going to put Burling as the inside forward, and then we'll leave the rest for now. We'll give it 10 more minutes or so. There's a throw in for Turner though. If we make it 2, it will be a little bit more of a sigh of relief. As Burling's there, it's got to be a pen. Got to be a penalty. The best taker is Jamie Watson. They're only 8 for taking it, but he's got good finishing, so we'll go for him. Let's see what he can do. I think Wilkin's the best, but he's not on the pitch anymore. Here he comes. Jamie Watson steps up. Right-footed. Smashes it in. It's 2-0. We're going to take Cool off. And we're going to give Waggett an outing. I'm not sure who's the better deep-lying playmaker. We'll leave it like that for now. 2-0. Hopefully that's game over at home. Yeah, I like Altrincham. They're a good club. They went professional further down. They sort of took a bit of a gamble on it. It did work out for them, but they're a good club up in the northwest. It's one I've got to go to, really. But Burling heads, oh, it's against the post. It's cleared away. But yeah, I hope Altrincham stay up. I predicted them to, but some of the others I went to go down, like Wilston, have started brilliantly. Although Dover seems to be down there. Craig Robertson, sick for the season for the youngster. He's really developing quite well, actually, the kid. And he's fairly professional, which will help him. It's just that I don't think there's a huge amount more potential there. But another comfortable win, and Halifax still behind, so let's keep an eye on them. That's the important bit here. I think they've lost it. We'll see when we get to the confirmation screen, but I think we've just gone 3 points clear. It is a 1-0 defeat for Halifax. The title race might be opening up. We've now got... Well, it says 2 weeks to the next game, but I'm guessing we'll have a Aldershot... a FA Trophy tie, sorry. I don't know where Aldershot came from there. Jamie Watson gets a brace. Our run goes on. 11 matches won in a row in the league. So following that early season dip, we have really done well. The funniest goal was the one again in a head coach Gladbach against Bayern. Yeah, Charlie enjoyed that one as well. It was an absolute cracker, wasn't it? I can't even remember the keeper's name now. What was his name? I can't remember it. It escapes me. But yeah, it was a bizarre goal to say the least. There was one that we scored late on in the year with Dorking against Liverpool. I think it might have been an FA Cup game or something. Maybe Carabao Cup. And the goalkeeper, again, it was similarly bizarre. But in terms of scored and against, they're the best ones, I think. Right, we've got the draw for the FA Trophy. So let's see who we get. Again, we could do with a nice easy one. There's 80 teams, so we'll just skip through it. Cross your fingers. We're not there, are we? We're going to be right near the bottom. We're... we have got the hardest game we could have got. First v second in the National League North. Away to Halifax. That's ridiculous. So, no finances from the FA Trophy as well. Carlisle have been asked if they want to arrange extra time. No. We don't want to force a result in the first leg. We want to bring them back to Brunton Park where we've got a better chance. Tactical decision there. And an extra game for Halifax probably harms them more than us. One of our youngsters is injured. We'll leave him to the physio. I don't recognise the name, so he probably won't play. El Gaming, what other plans have you got for Discord? Yeah, the music you mentioned for Halifax. Yeah, it might be coming on for that one. The other plans for Discord. So initially, not a lot. Initially, I just want it to sort of be like a live stream chat that's available all the time for people. I will obviously use it to share, like this morning when we're going live, new series starting, new videos. Same for the podcast as well, because that's growing really quickly and the content sort of goes hand in hand. But yeah, I just want it to be a sort of welcoming chat, really. That's the main aim from it. I don't want it to be the most technically brilliant, the same as my channel, you know. I haven't got the money to pay for the things that will make the most exciting, explosive intros in the world. As much as I'd like to, I can't. So, as long as it's a welcoming chat, we can have a laugh about lower league, non-league, Irish football, whatever, you know. That's the main thing. It's going to be a long old winter again. There's probably going to be at some point another lockdown of sorts. So it's just keeping people busy, entertained, and keeping people chatting. Interaction's the most important thing. And we've now got a problem. Kieran Turner, our right back, has picked up an injury, which is going to keep him out for 4 to 6 weeks. So this is where the beauty of the National League North. We can go and look for a lone right back. I will look for a free agent one as well, just in case. Let's see who we've got. So the free transfers. Clint Earl. Not bad. Probably better, actually. Finn McCann, who's on trial free at Bromley. And Jason Knowles, who's at Barnet. So Knowles has started every National League game, but I don't actually think he's that good. Finn McCann has started one National League game, but I don't think he's great. I think the best is Clint Earl. He's a very good player. Where was he before? So he's played 4 games for Blackburn in League 1. Played a season on loan at League 2 with Fylde and did really well. So let's see if we can get him, because potentially he's a first choice option. So we'll ask him to be a regular starter, which he's happy with. What does he want? That's manageable. Let's see if we can get him for $750. And we'll just try and drop everything else. You all know by now that I'm a heavy negotiator, so we'll see what happens. 775 quid a week. I'll catch up with the chat as soon as I've got this deal over the line, because we need this guy. I mean, normally, if it wasn't a one-season save, I'd probably write the promotion wages out consistently. It's probably the biggest cost. I always see it on, even in series I've watched on here, where people get really excited because they get promoted and they get an extra £5 a week on the wages, and then get disheartened when they see £4 of it go because they don't negotiate the clauses out. So he looks like we've got Clint Earl for £800 a week. There are probably other clubs after him. Fylde again and Notts County. So if we can get that one over the line, probably strengthens us a lot. I know he's nowhere near match fit, but hopefully if we can get him in for Saturday, then the FA Trophy is a good way to get fitness. I'll just look at the ones that were available for loan. David Harding, not great. Jake Lake from FC United. They're in the National League, blimey. He's not bad actually, but not good enough. Simon Patrick, similar. He's one we probably would be happy to loan in. Chesterfield are in League One. They're doing a really good job. So if we have to, we'll go for Shane Patrick for the next league game. But let's see what we do. Tom, good morning. Welcome along. Yeah, I know you went to watch Atherton Coles, didn't you, in the week? So another one. We talked a few already about non-league football today. It's the best place to go and watch. Jude Rooney, welcome along. Nice to see a new face in there. I'll answer your question in a second. Can we have a Wrexham logo as an emoji on it? Probably not, because eventually we'll have fans of 45 clubs or so, and I don't want to be biased towards any. Maybe only a Luton one. And we'll probably put the ones on for the One Club series as well. Just see if we can do that. Yeah, it's good to see. Hopefully, as the excitement for FM21 builds, quite a few people will go over to the Discord. And Jude, who do you think the best player in the Irish League? It's a good question, you know. Because we talked about, I mean, when me and Charlie did the guide at the start of the season, we talked about a lot of the stars at different clubs. I mean, talking about the Cliftonville save, Joe Gormley's got to be up there as a shout because he's a match winner. McCartan going to Ballymena is a massive transfer. He's a superstar as it stands. Obviously, we've interviewed Shannon Clucas. He's a very good player. Gail Bigaramana alongside him as a star. Linfield has still got Shane Lavery. Waterworth's banging in goals. Nasseri setting them up. There's a lot of good players. It's a nice problem to have. It's not one the Irish League's always had. I mean, on paper, I'd probably say Shane McCartan going over to Ballymena. But there's a few that would dispute that, particularly in the Linfield and Glentoran team, and possibly Joe Gormley. And Larne have signed Ronan Hale as well, who's a brilliant player. Didn't even mention him, so it's a tough one. What would you say? Because it's a very good question, actually. But if I had to put one, I would say McCartan going over, but you probably won't see the best of him for a year or so. So we've got the injury to Turner. The other right back hasn't agreed yet. So we're only one game a week. It doesn't matter if we rest people. We don't need to rest people for the FA Trophy, sorry. I'm going to bring on Stanley, so we've got a right back on the bench. And aside from that, we'll keep the same squad again. Charlie, best Irish League player, Leroy Miller. Yeah, I know he's a favourite of yours, but he is a good player in all seriousness. Mark Randall at Larne, yeah, it's another one. Tom, how many non-league grounds have you been to? Oh, quite a few. I mean, locally, quite a lot. The likes of Hitchin, Hemel, St Albans, before they put their prices up hugely. Letchworth Gardens, City Eagles. I'm trying to think what else. Tring we went to the last year. Non-league, I mean, in terms of the National League, as Jamie Watson puts us ahead again, good score against that Halifax side. In terms of the National League, I went to 10 or 15 away games. So, probably loads. I mean, even grounds like Eastbourne and Salisbury away. I can't... Yeah, I did. St Albans was a friendly years ago. I haven't been for a competitive game. Charlie always loved Phil Heatley at Crusaders. Owen Bradley at Coleraine is good at what he does. Let's not talk about why he's banned. Is quality like one of your questions? Yeah, it was a brilliant one, actually. But it's a real testament to the Irish League, how much it's improving. There's now widespread TV coverage of it, which is great. I mean, it's a league that's building, and they're not losing their stars as early. And a lot of their players are going over and playing in the top 3 or 4 divisions in England, so you can't argue with it. Oh, Conor McMenamin, yeah, see, a player I've managed over there. McCrudden as well is very good, but McMenamin, I mean, we mentioned him in the Irish League preview. Him, McCrudden and Gormley as much as Cliftonville haven't improved hugely, they're 3 match winners. And they signed a player the other day. I think his name's Daryl O'Connor. And he came from Cork. He was released on a free by Cork. He, on paper, is one of the best signings of the summer. I know it came late for our predictions and that, so it won't have been thought about then. But if he gets fit and firing, on the other side to McMenamin with Gormley and, say, McCrudden in attacking positions, that front four could potentially be the best in the division. But that relies on them all firing. Joe Gormley didn't have his best year last year. So if they all get firing, Cliftonville will finish a lot higher than the 5th or 6th me and Charlie predicted. As Wilkins in again. Oh, he's dragged it wide. Can't put Halifax to bed. We are struggling to put games to bed, actually. Who's your favourite team apart from Luton in the English leagues? Good question again. I mean, I mentioned it yesterday. The Premier League team I had a soft spot for growing up was Big Sam's Bolton. Later in childhood, because they had the old Galacticos. If I had to say now, I'd probably say Hitchin. That would be my immediate next one. If you say, I can't go and watch Luton, I'll go to the Hitchin game. So I'd probably say Hitchin Town. It's a lovely ground as well. Well-priced food. I mean, Hemmel's a nice ground as well, but Hitchin I would naturally draw myself towards. As Jamal puts the ball in, can we see this game off? He's offside. I thought we'd finally wrapped it up. Oh, well, it is what it is. Yeah, I'd say Hitchin Town, my next best. I always had a soft spot for Stockport as well. I think it's just because they were called the Hatters as well. And the way they dropped through the leagues. So Stockport would have been my unofficial second team. But to go and watch, definitely Hitchin Town. I'm hoping next week, and I'm not going to explain the reasons yet, or how it's coming about and why it's coming about. I'm hoping on the podcast we'll have a match day vlog from an EFL game, which is MK Dons v Wimbledon. So we'll talk about that as it happens, because I don't want anything to get in the way in the meantime. But I think I will hopefully be one of the lucky few who can do an EFL vlog. So that might be one to look forward to as well next week. Just admit you're an Arsenal fan. See, I love that Arsenal side. The early flair, the French flair of the early 2000s. I like the Chelsea side when Zola was there. I mean, I made the mistake when I was a very young kid of thinking you had to have a big team. So rather than actually supporting any of them, I just went, well, actually, I love watching them play. Which is mistaken for support. The same as Ipswich when they came up and they were flying under George Burley and they had a lot of Fabian George and Martin Reusser and people like that. But yeah, the truth is I supported Luton, and then each year I just pick a couple of Premier League sides and go, I like watching them and look out for their games. But that's pretty much all there is to it. Let's have a look at substitutions we can make here. Potter is struggling physically, but that weakens us a lot. I think I have to do it though. Or in fact, should we take Walton off? Because physically he's poor. Let's do that. So Craig Robertson to the right. Watson as the poacher. And then Burling over on the left. 15 minutes to hold on against second place at Halifax. But it's a cup game. Charlie loved Bolton back there, yeah. Per Franson. I mean, for me it was Kevin Davis, Stelios Giannakopoulos, JJ Okocha, Juraj Djorkaeff, Henrik Pedersen, Gary Speed, Ivan Campo, Kevin Nolan, Kevin Davis, Fernando Hierro they had as well, don't forget. Simon Charlton somehow got in that team, which was hilarious. Ricardo Gardner, what a player he was. I'm trying to think who the right back was. Was it Nicky Hunt? Nicky Hunt, I think, was the right back for most of it. And then Jussi Jääskeläinen to top the lot in goal. What a player he was. Still one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League era, in my opinion. So underrated. Shot stopping was ridiculous. Had a good penalty saving record. And obviously West Ham got him past his peak. Yeah, that invincible side for Arsenal was some team. I think Chelsea will struggle this year. I really do. That Bolton team, probably about 04 to 08 under Sam Allardyce. They went up in 2001. They consolidated for a couple of years. And then they just, he attracted massive names. So like JJ Okocha he was so good at the time that he was in top trumps, which at the time was like the cards are the best 32 players in the world. And he was in there. They had Campo and Hierro, who were obviously famous Galacticos, playing hundreds of games for Real Madrid at the time. And then when he went to Blackburn, he got Michel Salgado as well, didn't he? He's such an underrated manager. And at the time, Sam Allardyce, that's when sports science got introduced into English football. Sam Allardyce did all of that. He was the lead on that in English football. And he was seen, he was slated for it at the time. And now it's probably the most important part of the English game in terms of the congested season. Watson's wrapped it up in stoppage time, a 2-0 win again. I'm really worried that he's going back at the start of January. Radi Jaidi, yes. The best corner routines, definitely. Millwall. Tom, you're playing games now. Very naughty. Millwall obviously battered Luton in the week, so they look a good side. I think we said they'd be in the playoff mix again, and it looks like that's going to be the way. Again, they're so good at what they do with the target man and runners off them. Thank you for the views. There's so many people in this morning. It's great to have you all here. Please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Please do subscribe if you're new to the channel. And please do come and get involved in the football chat. It's great to have you all along. We've got through in the FA Trophy, so hopefully a little bit of an income boost again. I don't like the new rules Arsene's trying to get in at FIFA. Well, it's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of things that have changed massively. I don't forget when, like a year or two before I was born, when Charlie was a kid, they still had the back pass rule in. So there's a lot of big changes that seem weird at the start that aren't terrible. I don't agree with all of Arsene's ones. Unfortunately, it's going under the radar a bit because of the stupid European Premier League talk. I saw the thing today that the founder clubs had suggested that they are immune from relegation for 20 years. So potentially they could all finish bottom and then a team in mid-table could get relegated as a result. I mean, it's going to be an absolute disaster, but good luck to them if they want to do it. The English game will survive them. Wenger's birthday today, so don't be too harsh. No, we talked about it in the Discord last night. I'm a big fan of Arsene Wenger. Ferguson, Wenger and Allardyce in my lifetime have made the three biggest changes to English football. Ferguson in man management, Wenger in terms of style, nutrition, bringing foreign flair to the Premier League, and then Sam Allardyce in terms of sports science. And, I know people don't want to put those three in the same category sometimes, but they're trailblazers in their own way. And they were all highly successful. you gotta bear in mind, though, Gaming. Tom is a staunch Arsenal man. He is a Wenger. I don't know what the word would be. The equivalent of a believer for Arsene Wenger. But yeah, some of those rules did seem a bit bizarre. But, things that seem bizarre to other people have probably been there. Oh, the offside rule when we were kids. You remember that? When anyone was offside, it was offside. I mean, it used to be so simple. Literally, even in the early 2000s, wasn't it? If any player was in an offside position, offside was given. And that was it. And you didn't have any of this walking back towards play. The strikers weren't as lazy. It was, it was what it was. But you get more goals now, don't you? And that's what they're aiming for. So the next draw, the National League sides are in for the FA Trophy. We have got Chorley away, who are actually lower down the National League North. So I'd fancy our chances there. I'm not going to go for extra time because it's away from home. And if we're drawing, we'd rather be back at home again. So that means we've now got a week till Southport. Where are we? We're just past the hour mark. And we're trying to get 2 more games in. So what we'll do is we'll try and get through these 2. And then I'll play Chorley and most of December and January off camera. And then we'll come back next Tuesday for, say, Harrogate down to their 5 or 6 games. And then we'll do the last 5 or 6 as well. Maybe from Kettering for 7. Because Kettering, obviously, the side we started our head coach journey with this year. Mane wasn't offside against Everton, in my opinion. Oh, I definitely won't slate you for that. That's my opinion as well. I don't care if the offside thing... I keep hearing the... It's not about clear and obvious. It's matter of fact. But... And I'm going to get technical here, so apologies for boring you to death for the next minute. In terms of frame rate, statistically, I think there can be between 9 and 11 centimetres between frames because they're doing like 60 frames per second, which, to put it into perspective, is the equivalent of my Football Manager videos. That's the technology they're using. And I can record that on a bog standard computer. So if it's an offside, which is to the extent where you have to draw lines 100 times and it's still not clear, it should just be given as a goal. Because there is no possible way of technically proving that that is correct. And I'm happy to be argued with that. A Load FM Pro Clubs team for the future, maybe. Perhaps. It's something that will be a while off, probably. But one of the other things that we did float an idea about, and all we're missing at the moment is a goalkeeper, which I'm hoping Charlie's going to solve for me next month, is later in FM21, I wanted to do a sort of one-season challenge with all of the people we've interviewed on the podcast, put them in a team in the lowest playable league, and see how far we could take them. So I'd be intrigued. We could give them the Honest Football Podcast logo, we could give them a shirt and a badge and whatever else, but I'd love to do that because there's some really good players there. I mean, Sarcevic scored a last-minute equaliser for Bolton the other night. Reece Bennett's still not got a club. He's got his own YouTube channel now for Football Manager and FIFA. But he's a lovely bloke and I'm sure he'll get a club soon. People like Ben Pringle, who's just gone to Morecambe. I'm trying to think who else is there. Unfortunately, a lot of ours have retired now. Shannon Clucas we've mentioned as well. But there's so many good players. Yeah, that's what I thought, El Gaming. It just sounds like an interesting idea. I don't know whether it'll work. I don't know whether it'd be popular. But I think I'd enjoy it. And again, it goes back to a save I would do if I wasn't doing a YouTube channel. And that would probably be something. I go, all those blokes we've interviewed on a podcast, let me make a team of them and see what we can do. And I know in Charlie, at least I'd get one viewer guaranteed. So hopefully that's something that can potentially come in the future. Unfortunately, YouTube's having a bit of a tough day today, so I am catching up with a chat on my phone. So apologies as I'm looking away. As Clint Earl has agreed to join, so we should have him in place for the Southport game. We're not going to scout him or anything. It's something I very rarely do, but we're just going to see. Hopefully he's the man. Fingers crossed. Let's have a look. He's going to be joining the club any minute now. Whoppers, good morning. Welcome along. The chat's caught up at last. Morning, how are you doing? Just stopping by quickly. Need to do some stuff. Thank you for popping in. I really do appreciate it. It's always good to see the regulars in. Nice to have a couple of new faces today as well. But thank you for coming along. It's great to see you here. We are flying with Carlisle. We did go out of the FA Cup, unfortunately. We've had a couple more injury troubles, but progress in the FA Trophy, and now a 3-point lead at the top as Halifax lost a game. So it's all looking good at the moment. So Clint Earl, 3-star ability, 3.5 potential. Rated about the same as Turner, but obviously he's fit, which is a big difference. I think he's going to be significantly better. And a fairly professional personality, that's hard to come by at this level. So a good sign in there. Tom, if there was a referendum on VAR for coaches, players, fans, how do you think it would go? Yeah, I think it'd be mostly against. Particularly with a lot more people now going to watch non-league games and seeing what that offers. I think you'd probably get, in terms of fans, definitely against. No doubt about it at all. I think players and coaches would be closer. But it depends what it would be. If it's VAR in general, I think they'd probably go for it. If it was for VAR in its current form, I think they'd vote against it. But probably only 60-40 at push. Well, Poz, thank you. Appreciate you coming in. Always nice to see people saying hello. Charlie struggling to get a keeper still. You need to push the 2 Irish League ones for us. There were a couple of requests in the Discord yesterday, actually, for more Irish League interviews. So, something to keep you busy for the next month. Well, the thing is, VAR, and whether it was meant to make the game better is a different question. What it was definitely meant to do was clear up all those controversial refereeing decisions. And the Mane incident, the Pickford incident, 2 from 1 game there, proves that it doesn't. And actually, most people are then saying, well, stick with the on-field referee. So, yeah, I think that answers it in itself, doesn't it? Yeah, we have got an incredible midfield in that podcast team. We'd have a narrow diamond and there'd still be one missing out. We've got Sarcevic. Dean Bodic is still about. We've got Klukas, Godfrey Poku, who was a brilliant laugh. Still one of my favourite interviews, although a niche one. Former Luton player, but just a brilliant, a hilarious human being. A wonderful bloke. Ben Pringle, obviously Morecambe. It's a good midfield, isn't it? National League North or South, you should be winning a league with that midfield. My worry is goalkeeper. All of the left backs we've interviewed have retired, I think. Nicky Shorey, Gregor Robertson, bit of trouble. Can we add the Carlisle logo to the Discord after? Yeah, potentially. We've only got 2 more streams with them, so it's whether I've got the discipline to keep rotating them as we do it. That's the question for me. Will Spurs always find a way to bottle it? Oh, I mean, going forward, and I know people will argue with Liverpool because of their record. Aubameyang rightly at Arsenal will get a mention, and the new stars at Chelsea and the likes, and City obviously at their best. I will argue this now. The Tottenham attacking 3 with the 5 or 6 options they've got is the best in the league by a million miles. If I had to pick any attacking set of players to choose from, I would pick Tottenham. Because you've got Kane, Son and presumably Bale when everyone's fit. You've then got Lucas Moura, Steven Bergwijn, who was very good against West Ham before he came off, and the new signing Vinicius, who's a good player. Dele Alli, who can't even get in the squad. Eric Lamela up in those positions as well, who are basically third choice. It's remarkable. Defensively, they will spend this entire season regretting not getting another centre-half. If Joe Rodon, unless he becomes a wonder kid very quickly, and he might well break into that team because he's very good, I'm surprised they didn't go for like the Ben Godfrey or someone like that. Because, I mean, he's that sort of quality. It really surprised me because they're going to regret that for the season. Lloris is in the best form he's been in for a long time. I mean, the third goal on Sunday you can't do anything about. It was a wonder strike. But the first 2 were so avoidable. Davinson Sanchez, I mean, he's been poor. The first minute against West Ham he was terrible. He gave away that penalty at the start against United and due to future events got away with it. It's just a bit strange. So don't be surprised if Joe Rodon breaks in pretty quickly. Or Dyer and Alderweireld. Yeah, and they let out Carter Vickers, who was a revelation at Luton. I don't know that he's a top 6 Premier League player yet, but I've got a feeling he'll be crucial to Bournemouth getting in the top 6 of the Championship. Yeah, the Lanzini goal was brilliant. I mean, I said this earlier in the week in the other live stream because I got asked about my favourite type of goal. There is no better sight. Tony Yeboah's was the most famous one growing up than a smashed effort from distance. Smashing the crossbar, bouncing down and then bouncing into the roof of the net. It is by far the best sight in football for me. We're going to bring Clint Earl in at right back today. Wilson will go on the bench. Stanley drops out. And apart from that, we're back to our first 16 again. So Clint Earl prefers to be a fullback on defend. We'll leave him on the automatic for now and see how he gets on. And we'll drop him back if we have to. But it's a very settled side here, which is working. Thank you to everyone for the thumbs up as well. Do appreciate it. It's great to have so many of you along this morning. I know we'll probably get a bumper one today and Tuesday for the half term. And then one quiet one before FM21. As I mentioned on Discord yesterday, I am planning ambitiously in the beta save to do sort of 10 live streams in 14 days at least. And we'll try and do evenings and weekends so people can watch them. I've got the beta save for the live stream planned. I know who I'm going to be and what I'm going to do. And then I'll have a vote on the channel in the next couple of weeks. And probably during that beta as well. For the long term one. To see who would prefer what. There's 2 or 3 different options going. And we'll see what you like. 23 minutes gone here. Southport have arguably been the better side. And I'm a little bit worried. So we're going to demand some more. And hopefully we can get on top. They're playing a 4-4-2. So it's not a formation thing that's causing trouble. And Earl's got himself a booking as well. So I'm going to drop him to defend. Just to try and help us out. I mean, Southport, they're a mid-table team. They shouldn't be dominating us that much. But we've got to throw on the right with Earl here. He finds Walton. Back to Earl again, and we're pushing forward. I mean, it's not looking too good at the moment. We're not creating good chances. As Cole picks it up, goes wide to Jamal at left back. He's over the top towards Potter. Into the box, cuts it back to Cole, and it's a great goal. Alan Cole is first for the club as well. And what a time to do it. We always like to see a good strike. And when you have these games where you don't play well, to get one of your midfielders pop up with a long-range strike is just what you need. So we're going to get the boys to prove a point. I might drop to balanced in the second half just to give us a little bit more solidity. And we'll see how it works out. Where do Arsenal play Saka? So he's played either left wing back or on the wide areas of a front three most of the time. Oh, Southport are in here. Oh, that's terrible. I mean, the keeper took an age to get up. And we're going to have to go back to positive. But he's another one. Saka, who's a brilliant young player. He's a wonderful prospect, and I'm sure he'll do really well for them. And he's going to be an England star in the future as well. Obviously made his debut against Wales. Hayward picks it up in the middle. Southport are dominant now. I'm really quite worried about this game. Just as we get on top in the title race, and we're going to throw it away again. Halifax are... So have they already played Halifax? I think they might have played at the weekend. And they lost again because they're on 54 points still. As Walton puts the ball in, it's straight at the keeper. So a point, potentially a good point. But we'd like to get 3. And we've got a chance with a Potter free kick. Into the mixer. Dodd's there. Walton's there. Is it in? It is. Underside of the bar. Just drops dead on the line. And eventually creeps over. Yeah, he has played all over the left side, Tom, hasn't he? But he's a really good footballer. Him and Reece Nelson are the best two of the bunch. Sounds like Wrexham to you. Andrew's got the ball at left back. It's a free kick for Southport. And we're not seeing any motion for some reason. But eventually it's cleared forward. Oh, what's the centre half doing? Oh, it's 2-2. What are you doing, Robbie Hutchison? He ran away from the man. And the ball at that. Oh, just as we put all that effort to get back ahead again. And this is turning into a bit of a ding-dong battle, as it's called in FM. Earl picks it up in the middle. Switches to Potter, to Cole. Into Potter again. Oh, it's dragged it wide. He's played right wing too. Yeah, I said either side of the front three, hadn't he? Yeah, he's a really versatile player, which helps him. But a lot of the youngsters have to be. You see Maitland-Niles as well, similar there. Reece Nelson can play either side and in the middle. Joe Willock's played in a few positions. They've got good young versatile players. And most youngsters are versatile now, aren't they? Right, we've got a free kick. Louis Potter has not scored in a while. And he's in a perfect position here. Oh, he's at the post. Oh, that should have been the moment. Jamie Watson, the normal hero, is having an awful game. So let's get Burling on. Robertson on for Wilkin, who looks nervous. And Douglas, the box-to-box, replaced by Waggett. No, we'll leave him box. Should we leave him box-to-box or central midfielder? Let's try and have a little bit more astuteness about us. And that's going to be it, I think. 15 to go. It's been a pretty even game. We're going to demand a bit more, but I don't see a winner here. As Walton brings it down for Waggett, the substitute. He is starting to improve off the pitch. He's put Robertson in here. Oh, the youngster's done it. 7th goal of the season for the 18-year-old. Brilliant stuff. Arsenal fans haven't been this excited about people since Wilshere. Hopefully his career goes differently. Yeah, Tom's in the Discord. Quite a few have popped over already, actually. Oh, Potter scored a free kick now. It's all happening. Potter ends the goal drought. And it's turned into another very good day at the office. That should put us 6 points clear. And the title race is starting to turn into our hands. Stoppage time done. 4-2 victory. A brilliant result. 6 points clear with another tough away game at Guiseley to come. And if we win that one, I'll start to think we're title favourites. Earl made his debut. Solid enough at right back. Did the job. I don't think we can argue with that. Who have Halifax got? I mean, who did they lose to? They lost at home to Warrington, who we struggled with. They're up in 5th. At the weekend, Halifax are at home to Telford, who are 7th, and we've got Guiseley. So we've both got a tough runs at the same time. We've got Shields and Watson joint on 13 goals. I don't know how we go about keeping Watson. When does his contract end with Hamilton? His contract ends the end of May. So hopefully when he goes back, we can get him for another 3 months. And then he'll only miss the last few games of the season. The top scorer in the league is Hales Owens Charles. Let's have a look at him. He's 24 years of age. I mean, we'll scout him because he's electric quick and he's got good fitness. But he's doing a really good job for a side in the bottom half. Yeah, he was one of the first to join. You mean Carl, do you? The Stoke fan? No, Carl the Stoke fan's a K. And then there's a couple of Carls who regularly comment. One from Luton and one from Northern Ireland, I think. Who are with a C. We've got lots of Carls on the channel for some reason. Have you heard of Patino? Yeah, he signed his first contract in a week. I'm hoping, a bit like the Max Aarons one, where they do the academy poaching from EFL clubs. There's a 10 or 15% mandatory sell-on clause. I think it's 10%. And obviously Aarons went to Norwich late enough that that counts for him. But if he went while we were in the National League, like Wiltshire did before that, then you don't get anything. I'm going to open my rival rewards on FIFA. I'll let you know if I get anything good. See, I'm tempted by FIFA this year because everyone's saying it's so much better. But normally after a few patches, it becomes crap again. And I know that obviously the big updates in the future are going to be given to the new consoles, aren't they? And I'm never getting a new console until 5-6 years when it drops to a normal price. I've always been years behind. I didn't get an Xbox 360 until 2010. And I didn't get an Xbox One until 3 years ago. 2017. So I was never going to do it early. It might have been 16 actually. I think FIFA 16 was the first I had on there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Patino was at Luton at some point. But that's my hope really, is that he was and that he was poached like that. Because the Max Aarons one, we've got a 10% sell-on fee. And it looks like, whether it's now or January, Barcelona wanted him, I mean. So if they get 20-30 million, that's 2 or 3 quid for nothing for a player that we didn't really do the academy work for later on. So it's a huge bonus. It's a great advantage of being in the EFL. James Justin's going to be a start, no doubt about that. You're spot on there. He was brilliant for us in the double promotion. And last year, to be fair, Brendan Rodgers didn't really play him, and we were all a bit surprised, but he's trained that kid so well, because defensively his improvement is massive. Going forward, he's as good as he ever was. Again, he's versatile. He's a natural right back, playing left back in the Premier League. He'll probably make his European debut tonight, which is great. So Max Aarons never played for Luton, but he was in our academy up to 15 or 16, and then Norwich poached him. And if that happens from an EFL club, you're not protected when you're in non-league. And obviously we were until 6 years ago. But if it happens when you're an EFL club, there's a mandatory 10% future sell-on clause and a few little things that are built in to protect EFL clubs and their youth academy scheme. So there's a 10% sell-on clause as a result. Even though he never played for Luton and he never even got to scholarship age, there's a 10% sell-on clause there. And I think, although he obviously played loads for Luton, James Justin, they had a sell-on clause built in as well. Same for Jack Stacey, who went to Bournemouth. Curtis Jones is going to be a star. Yeah, he looks a superstar. He's another one we had with, was it Tranmere in the network save on the podcast? We had Curtis Jones. Really good player. He's got that confidence as well. He looks like he belongs early on. Actually, to be fair, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to probably annoy Tom, Curtis Jones reminds me a little bit of Jack Wilshere, the way he plays. When Wilshere was 17, 18 and taking the world by storm. Declan Shields is coming back to fitness already. 2 to 5 weeks. Quick recovery from the kid. Aside from that, we're going to keep our 16 the same. Final game of the morning. And it's a tough trip to Guiseley. Yeah, Jamal Lewis, he started in Luton as well. He went when we were in the National League. Because he's 22 now, obviously. He went when he was 15. So we got no protection for him. But because Aarons was that bit younger and went a bit later, we've got the 10% sell-on. Luton have always had a famed youth academy. So, like when we were growing up, Curtis Davis, who's at Derby now but played in the Premier League for ages. Matty Taylor, who played for Pompey for years and used to score ridiculous goals. Matt Upson started at Luton Town, who's obviously scored in the 2010 World Cup for England. Yeah, we've had some brilliant young players. We always had a traditional... It's a great stomping ground. It's one of our most famed things. It's where a lot of our income comes from as well. Yeah, it's great to be back on live streams. It's been good to have so many in this morning. It's been a really good one. And thankfully, no real internet issues as well. I say, touch wood, as we've got 5 minutes to go yet. Wrexham have let go all of these good youngsters to teams like Sunderland. That's not a problem, though. It's how you reinvest the money. So for Luton, selling Stacey and Justin and probably a couple of others this year, and if we get the sell on for Aaron's, single-handedly, those 3 or 4 pay for us football stadium. And if that's the reinvestment, then great. It's just when they're done and then the money's wasted on silly things, isn't it? Early on, we've got the possession here into Walton, just over the bar. We'll keep an eye on Halifax as well, of course. It's going to be a big game, this one. Guiseley, one of our toughest opponents of the year, as Forrester cuts it into Potts. Down the line, tries to get in behind. Earl's really wise to that. Potter's running in behind. Ended his goal drought last game, but can't get another one there. From open play, still struggling. And it's cleared away. But even for free, if those youngsters are going to bigger teams, hopefully then they'll get the sell on. But obviously you're a non-league club at the moment, so you're not protected. The same as Luton weren't when they were there. And that's the hardest thing about it. As Ross Walton's given us the lead, Potter turns provider, and we're turning into one hell of a side, this Carlisle team. No goals yet, I don't think, with Halifax. And we're coming forward again with Earl to Wilkin. Cross to the front post, and it's cleared away. Because, I mean, even in recent years, we let Akim Famiwo go to Norwich. Tyreek Bakinson, who's scoring goals for Bristol City. He was a Luton Youth Academy player. We've got Caelan Hines as well, I think. And we've got sell-on clauses for all of these players. So if Bakinson... Oh, Smith's dropped one in again. We've got to improve the keeper in January. I know he's quite well rated, but he's been really poor. 15 reflexes, and you see them, he's dropping him. But yeah, we've got some massive sell-on deals potentially. Bakinson's scoring goals at the moment, so hopefully that means he'll be an option for us to sell on to a Premier League club in January. And if he goes somewhere for 10 million or so, another £1 million. It's the same as my approach on Football Manager. I basically stole it from my club, Luton Town, is whenever you sell a player, get the biggest possible sell-on fee in there. Without the profit thing, just get a sell-on fee in. Because you never know who's going to have a brilliant half a season and end up in the Premier League. So 22 minutes on the clock. Guiseley have probably been the better side here. And they might be on the threat to take the lead because they're dominating the match now. Andrews gets it wide left. Good challenge, Walton. Really good from the goal scorer. We're going to demand a bit more because we can't get out here. Earl picks it up at right back. He's had a good game so far, actually. Flicks on for Potter, and now it's to Wilkin. Can he get a goal? Hasn't scored for a while. Finds Walton. Crosses in. Watson's there. 2-1. Happy days. Do we have a sell-on feed for JJ? According to Football Manager, yes, 15%. Same for Jack Stacey on there. I think Stacey's might have been 20% actually. But yeah, they're both, according to Football Manager, who are normally right, it is. And same for Max Aarons. 10% for him. I remember his transfer broke down the first time because they couldn't fare on it. Yeah, that was Brighton, wasn't it? But don't forget, that was that 6 months earlier or a year earlier? And Brighton, that was linked for 2 million. Played in a League One promotion season. Suddenly he went for 8. Or 6 with rising to 8. And he's probably met most of those clauses already. So it's a really, really important thing. If you can keep hold of them for an extra 6 months or a year, and they're the type of character like Justin, where they will get their head down and do their best and not just throw their toys out the pram, then potentially it makes you an extra few £1,000,000. Of course, there is the risk they get injured and they're never the same again. As Potter's nicked in, he's got an open goal here. It's 4-1 to Carlisle, and we are running riot. Halifax are 2-0 down at home to Telford, and we are going 9 points clear to end the stream. What a brilliant one. Have you played Among Us? Sorry, I don't know what that one means, mate. Just say that one again. James Justin, sorry. James Justin, yeah. It's me not keeping up with the chat there. Isn't Aaron's linked with Barcelona? Yeah, so he was in the window. Barcelona put in a bid for him, which was rejected. It was only about 12 million, I think, which isn't enough. He's 19, 20. He's got the world at his feet. And I can say in my off-camera Norwich save, after 2 years, he's become one of the best right-backs in the world. Yeah, and he got a better move. He's going to play in Europe tonight for the first time. So waiting that bit longer does make the difference sometimes. But you can lose that only opportunity, which you have to bear in mind for some of those kids. If you're playing at Luton for respect in League One and someone comes along and says, here's a 3-year deal, here's 20 grand a week, that's £3 million. And for a footballer, add on the sell-ons and that, let's say 3.5 million conservatively, that's enough to live the rest of your life, even if it goes wrong. And that's a real hard choice between your dream of a football career and paying for the rest of your life in one moment. And I really understand people who can go the other way. A free mobile game called Among Us. I'll be honest, I've never heard of it. Let me have a look. What type of games? Oh, I do remember it because I remember that American politician playing. I saw the story about that. To be honest, those sort of games like the shooters and the violent games, I've no problem with them, and all of the conspiracy theories about what they cause is nonsense, but they're just not my cup of tea. Like, I've never played Call of Duty, I've never played, as Guiseley score again, I've never played, I know it's not the same, but Grand Theft Auto or any of those sorts of things. They're just not my cup of tea, really. I think, what's the other one? Red Dead Redemption, is it the other one? Not a fan of any of them. So, yeah, probably won't ever see that sort of stuff from me. Mainly because I'll probably get too scared. I'm a big baby, really. As Wilson's coming down the right. That's Kane Wilson, who we had at Cliftonville. Remarkable, really. And Guisey again making a comeback. We're really starting to struggle at the back here. Earl's a bit tired, which you'd expect coming in. Second game after 6 months without a club. But Walton going down the right. Can we wrap this up? Into Potter. Douglas. There we go. 5-2. Job done. Halifax are back on terms. Great comeback against Telford there. The streams do go fast, but that's a sign that it's gone well, so no problem with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really one for mobile games either. I never got Fortnite or anything like that, so it's not really my sort of thing, to be honest. I never have a good phone, to be honest. I've only got a hand-me-down or a cheap Alcatel or something. Yeah, and James Justin told Dewsbury Hall to come on loan from Leicester to Luton. So what more can you ask for? Should I take money or packs for rival rewards? I mean, I'm probably not the person to ask. I always pick packs. I mean, one, I never spend any money on FIFA in-game or anything like that. But I always pick packs because it's the closest thing virtually to a sticker book collection. So I always enjoyed opening the packs. I never used to buy anyone in the transfer window. I used to just open like gold packs over and over again. Smith makes a good save this time, and we're going to make changes. So I'll bring Wilson on for Earl, who's starting to struggle physically. I'll bring Cool off for Waggett, and Wilkin will be replaced by Craig Robertson, the youngster. 5-2, few minutes to go. Let's see if we can see it out. Yeah, I mean, Grand Theft Auto is really popular, so I'm never going to say why you're playing that. It's just not my thing, you know. And everyone, it seems to be the thing in the modern world, like social media and that if you say you don't like something, suddenly you're offending it. No, I'm sure it's a great game. It's just not my thing. Douglas picks it up in the middle to Waggett. Switches right. Oh, they've missed it. Robertson a bit wide for an advance forward there, but we'll get there anyway. He finds Walton. Cross into Potter. Headed away. And the last thing we want to do is give another grandstand finish. Please don't concede. Wilkinson picks it up. Tries to switch to Potts. We've got a man over here. It's Blair on the left-hand side for them. Good effort. Oh, Smith. I assure you, by the next time we are live on Tuesday, we will have a new goalkeeper. Because he is really starting to annoy me, the amount of mistakes he makes. Potter's got a free kick. Might make it 6 at the other end. It's well saved. If that had been Smith, probably would have gone in. Yeah, definitely packs. It's always the best way to go. I mean, I wasn't a huge Ultimate Team fan, but I would always go for packs. Waggett makes a good challenge. Saves the day again against Lewis Smith. Elliott crosses into the back post. It's going to be 5-4, is it? No, just wide. Halifax have got a red card with 10 to go. We're keeping a very keen eye on that. It's still 2-2. So 7, 8 points clear as it stands we're going. As Potter puts the ball into the box. Back post. Dodd's there. It's a great save. It's into the back post though, and Watson puts the rebound in. 20 goals by December. What an effort from the kid. He's going to be sorely missed if we can't get him back. A 6-3 win away at Guiseley. Game of the season so far. Lewis Smith gifting them 2 of theirs. But otherwise a really good performance. And from being neck and neck with Carlisle in with Halifax, in 3 games we've managed to go 8 points clear. FIFA is much better this year. I will have a look. The fact they didn't do a demo never gave us the chance to see, really. The demo for 20 put me off, and maybe that's why they didn't do one this year. That's what I was like in League 2 on my Wrexham save, yeah. Let me have a look. I'm going to go for a goalkeeper just before we finish off. Louis Potter was brilliant. 2 goals, 2 assists. Let's see who the director of football recommends. So free transfer, goalkeeper, and loan goalkeeper. We've still got one long-term loan slot, He's okay, but not great. Shelby, solid across the board, good mentally. 30 years of age as well, the experience might help. And he's playing first team football in League 2. Why are they loaning him out if he's first choice? Kenton Ball, AFC Wimbledon, he's not good enough. Right, let's look at the ones they're recommending on a free. One from Newry in Northern Ireland. Oh, he's good. And he'll be cheap as well. Let's have a look at him. We'll scout him. Ian Miskimming from Newington, again in Northern Ireland, looks good. We know they've got good youngsters over there from the other Cliftonville save. And Marlowe, a free agent. Played for Southport. We'll have a look at him. And we'll also scout then Shelby, who we might be loaning in. He looks like the safest option, to be honest. They want 400 quid a week though, and we can't afford that. So it might be ruled out. But they're the ones we'll have a look at for the next episode. And fingers crossed, we'll have the one of them in ready to go at least. So if we look at the schedule and plan a game to be back, I think we'll go for Harrogate. Are Spennymoor up near the top or not? They aren't. So we're going to go for Harrogate to start the next episode. So I'll try and get through those few off camera. We'll be back middle of January. Hopefully new keeper. Hopefully still top of the league. Fingers crossed still in the FA Trophy as well. But thank you all for joining me this morning, making it such a successful live stream. It's been great to talk football, football manager and all other sorts. Keep your eyes peeled later for announcement of the One Club story for FM21. It's got a Build a Nation theme. That's my final hint of the morning. So not an English one. Please do put a thumbs up on this if you haven't already. Cliftonville will be back at 4:30, the usual daily video series. And of course you can check out Discord, Twitter and the community page for much, much more. Thank you all for coming along. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a good week and I will be back as normal on Tuesday morning for another live stream. Thank you for watching.